Hi everyone, this is all the gear that I'm bringing with me on the John Muir Trail this summer. Let's get into it. I'm going to be hiking the John Muir Trail with the July start date, and I'll be hiking with a friend, so some of this gear is shared, and I'll highlight that as I go through the list. This is the Hyperlight Southwest 55-liter backpack. You can see I have it outfitted with some pack accessory straps right here, just in case I have to clip some white gear to the outside of my pack. The other accessory I have for this bag is the phone pouch. I've found that on long hikes, just using the hip belt alone for my phone, my paper maps, and my snacks tends to get a little bit congested, and I wanted to have a little bit of extra pocket storage. I've used this pack on a few trips, and I really like it so far, hoping it holds up well for the JMT. Next up, let's move on to my sleep system. For my quilt, I have the Katabatic Flex 25-degree quilt. This is a new piece of gear for me, and it's a big upgrade from what I had before, which was a Big Agnes Torchlight 20. This quilt is super lightweight. It packs down really small. It's super lofted right now, which is why it just looks so big, but this can compress down pretty small inside a pack. For my sleeping pad, I have a Nemo Tensor insulated regular version. I've used this for several years now, and it's held up great. Lastly, for my pillow, I have the Sea to Summit ultralight large pillow. This thing is fantastic. My best tip with this pillow is just don't inflate it all the way. If you inflate it all the way, it's not very comfortable at all. If you just inflate it part way, fantastic. Next up over here, I have my Bear canister. This is the Bear Vault 500. We have one 7-day food carry between Muir Trail Ranch and Onion Valley, so we'll be loading up this canister pretty heavy. You might be wondering, where is my tent in this wonderful pile of stuff? I'm going to be sharing a tent with my friend. She has the Durston X-Dome 2P, so that is at her house and not here with me. Next up, I have my trekking poles. So a pair of Black Diamond trekking poles. I think these are about 10 years old. You can tell they have some pretty significant wear. They're starting to maybe get close to end of life, hoping they can make it one more backpacking trip. Moving on to my cooking and hydration gear. I have two 1-liter smart water bottles. For my water bottles, one of them has a sport cap. The other one I will outfit with this drinking hose. This is by One Bottle Hydration. It effectively turns a water bottle into a bladder. This is one of my favorite pieces of gear. Makes drinking water a lot more convenient. For my water filter, I'll be using a Sawyer squeeze, and I'll also be using this little smart water bottle adapter. You can screw this onto your Sawyer where the white cap is, screw the other end into a smart water bottle or anything that has 28 millimeter threads, and then you're able to use this as a gravity filter. I have my knock bag, upside down. I have my knock bag, which is the dirty water bag, which will go on the other end of the Sawyer. And then I have this little meshy bag, also from Sawyer, and it has a little loop. So when I do that gravity filter setup that I described, this is what I use to put the dirty water bag in. I also use this just to store my filter when hiking, because since it's mesh, everything can dry. Moving on to my cook set, I have just a Toaks 650 ml titanium pot. I'll be sharing this with my friend. We'll have to do 2 boils every night for dinner, which is a little inconvenient, but this water boils really fast on the stove that I have, which is the Pocket Rocket by MSR. This stove is awesome. It is super small. It boils water pretty fast. When I'm hiking the JMT, this will be packaged inside my stove alongside my lighter, with a bandana inside just so everything doesn't clank around. This stove is fantastic. Last piece of my cook setup is my spoon. This is a Toaks long-handled spoon. This is great when you're eating a meal out of a pouch. Your hand doesn't get as dirty digging around inside. Next up is my hygiene kit, and some of this gear is new for me for this trip. First off, I have this super fun little bag that I got off Garage Gear just to store all my bathroom related items. I have this little Hydra Pack bag to use with my ultralight bidet. Now, there's some people who put their bidets directly on their water bottles. Personally, I think that's a little gross. So I got this little Hydro Pack bag just to be a dedicated bidet item. And this fits nicely in the little poop emoji pouch that I have. The one bathroom item that I don't have right here is my trowel. I have this UFL trowel that I really hate. It's extremely ineffective at digging dirt, so I'll either use my friend's trowel or buy a replacement. If you have any good suggestions for trowels, comment down below. Moving on, bathroom items would not be complete without some soap for hand washing. And then I also bring a pea style. This is another favorite piece of gear of mine, as well as a cooler cloth. I will be bringing toilet paper in addition to using the bidet and the cooler cloth. I don't have that out right now. For toothbrush, I have this little tiny bamboo toothbrush. Comes with a nice little cover on top. Also will bring some toothpaste. I will be bringing this tiny wallet. This is by Chicken Tramper Ultralight Gear. I usually just bring a sandwich bag for my wallet. I've gotten a lot of holes in sandwich bags. This is a little bit more durable, and that way I don't end up with a bag plastered with duct tape at the end of my hike. Moving on to some electronics. This is my headlamp. This is the Nitecore NU25 headlamp. It's rechargeable, takes a USB-C charger. You can see it's got a pretty minimal headband design. I'm pretty excited about this piece of gear. My old headlamp was a little bit bulky. My battery pack is also from Nitecore. This is the 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack, and it is pretty lightweight. I've used this for several years now, and it's been really reliable and has worked really well for me. Next up, I have my first aid kit. I have a bunch of miscellaneous items here, and I have a separate video that breaks down everything that is inside this bag. This also contains my knife, which you can see right there. I have a Swiss Army knife mini. I also bring a cork massage ball. This is by Rology, and it's the smallest size that they have. I tend to get a lot of muscle knots, and I find that this can be really helpful after a long day of hiking. I put all of my electronics and all of my first aid stuff inside this little Sea to Summit dry bag. It's bright red, makes it nice and easy to find inside my pack. I will also make sure to bring bug spray since I'm starting the JMT in July. I also will be bringing this little sit pad. I bought this off Amazon. It was pretty cheap, weighs about 1 ounce. This way I don't have to sit like a peasant while I'm on trail. Next up, let's go through my clothing. This is the Enlightened Equipment Torrid Insulated Jacket. I have the version that has a hood, and it is a hoodie style. So it's got like a little kangaroo pouch, and it's got a quarter zip. I've been a big fan of this so far, and I'm excited to take it on the JMT. For my mid layer, I have a Senchi Alpha 90 hoodie. This I've had for a few years. It's held up really well, and it is super lightweight, weighs about 4 ounces. For base layer pants, I have these Alpha 90 joggers by Magnet Designs. These are also super warm, super comfortable, and they weigh about 4 ounces. The one gear item I forgot to talk about, I will be bringing some rope. I haven't cut it down to size yet, but I'll be cutting this piece of rope into 4 5-foot long pieces. I'll be using this to stake out the tent if there's any excessively windy conditions or areas on the trail where we can't get stakes into the ground. Moving on to my daily hiking clothes. This is the Triple Crown button down by Jolly Gear. I really like this sun hoodie because it not only has a hood, but it also buttons all the way down the front, and then it also has buttons on the sleeves, which just let you roll things up and ventilate if you need to, but if you need full coverage for sun protection, you have that option as well. I originally was going to bring convertibles on this trip, but then I realized that My hiking pants and hiking shorts actually were lighter than my convertibles by a pretty significant amount. My convertibles are pretty old, so that might be why. These pants are the REI Trail Made pants. They are pretty breathable, and they have really big pockets, which I like, and they have a nice little draw cord on the belt. For shorts, these are the Patagonia Terrebonne shorts, just nice and lightweight. For my hat, I have a Cotopaxi 5-panel hat. It has a nice flat brim. I really love this hat. I like it so much that I have it in 2 different colors, so this piece of gear is great. For my sunglasses, I'll be bringing this pair of Gooder sunglasses. These are pretty inexpensive. They're only about $25. I've been able to get some really good mileage out of these. For my hat, I'm actually not going to bring a dedicated hat. Instead, I'm going to bring this merino wool buff. I figured since all of my jackets have hoods, I probably don't also need a hat. Buff will be a little bit more versatile, but conservative hat if I really need it. I would bring a bra. This is the REI Take Your Time bra. It's sadly been discontinued, which is a shame because this is my favorite. Underwear, I'll be bringing 3 pairs of underwear. These 2 are Icebreaker. This one is Decathlon. These are all merino wool. The Decathlon one is a merino wool blend. Out of these 3 pairs of underwear, the Decathlon one are my favorite. Unfortunately, they are sold out in my size. Otherwise, I would just be bringing 3 pairs of the Decathlon underwear. For socks, I will be bringing 2 pairs of Darn Tough socks, and then I'll also be bringing 1 pair of Injinji toe socks. For mittens, I'll be bringing a pair of Z-Packs gloves. These are Brushtail Possum merino wool blend gloves. These have been treating me really well. Also for mittens, I will be bringing a pair of rain mittens, also made by Z-Packs. I have Raynaud's in my fingers, so means that my circulation can get really bad, and I found that keeping my hands dry is a big part of keeping my hands warm. So hopefully these will help my hands out quite a bit. I'll also be bringing a raincoat. I believe this is the Outdoor Research Helium. It packs down nice and small. One piece of rain gear that I'm debating bringing is a rain kilt or rain pants. I own a pair of rain pants, but they are pretty heavy, so not sure if I want to bring those or not. So let's move on to my hiking shoes. These are Ultra Lone Peak 6s. They're currently on the Lone Peak 9. However, I don't like the newer versions of the Lone Peak Trail Runners. I really like the 6s. I bought these off eBay and got really lucky to find some that were in almost perfect condition. So really looking forward to wearing these. Lastly, I have my camp shoes. These are Luna sandals. These are so comfortable. I love these a lot. And that's all my gear for the JMT this summer. I'll be posting more videos on my JMT prep, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment down below with what other types of videos you'd like to see about the JMT, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.